Hey guys, so I've had quite a few people asking me questions about how the structure of Oxbridge works, so how the college system and the department system works within the university. So I thought I'd answer those questions once and for all in a video. This might sound obvious to some of you, in which case you're perfectly free to not watch this video. So every student at Oxbridge is a member of a college and also a student at a department, or in some cases multiple departments. Those two systems though, the colleges and the departments, are completely separate. Your college is your new home and it provides you with a place to sleep, a place to eat, a library to work in, a common room and a bar. Your department, on the other hand, is where academics in your subject have their offices and where they conduct their research. It's often where you'll have your subject's lectures and there'll be a subject-specific library there more often than not. In some subjects there's also laboratories on site where you conduct practical work. So to give you an example, you could be a student at Oxford because it's the best university in the world, studying physics because it's the best subject in the world, at St Peter's because it's the best college in the world. Then your home, your college site, is here on New Inn Hall Street, while your department, where you have your lectures, is up here on Parks Road. Those two systems of buildings don't talk to one another, they're completely separate, other than being labelled under the umbrella term of the University of Oxford. Where things get a little bit more complicated is when it comes to your teaching. At Oxbridge, your teaching is roughly divided between two systems: lectures and tutorials or supervisions, depending on which university you're at. Lectures are probably similar to your current experience of education. Students taking your subject from all the colleges of the university will attend lectures which will either be held in your department or in some other central location, like the exam schools in Oxford, for example. An academic will stand at the front of the lecture hall and talk for an hour about a subject, and either they will give out printed notes that you can annotate or you can take notes freehand. Generally, you'll have a different academic for each lecture course that you take, and a lecture course can range from being a single lecture to being dozens of lectures long. Tutorials, or supervisions, on the other hand, are really quite different, and they're what make Oxbridge unique. Because I'm from Oxford, I'm going to refer to them for the rest of this video as tutorials. Just know that in Cambridge they're called supervisions. And because I'm a scientist, I'm going to start by explaining how tutorials work for scientists, and then I'm going to talk about how they work for humanities students, because they are slightly different. As a scientist, your lecturers will hand out periodically problem sheets which contain questions based on the material you've been covering in lectures up to that point. Often this is weekly. You complete these questions and at a pre-specified date you hand them in to one of your college tutors. These are members of academic staff who are associated with your college, and any college will typically have several tutors for each subject. They can be lecturers, professors, PhD students, and in some cases they will actually tutor multiple colleges. So students from multiple colleges will be tutored by the same person, sometimes. In the tutorial you will sit down with your tutor, either individually or with a group of other people from your college that do your subject, typically one or two others. They'll give you back your script of attempted solutions, marked, and they'll go through the questions, showing you how to do them. Whilst this is useful, the real benefit of tutorials is being able to discuss the subjects that are covered in the problem sheets with your tutor. So for example, I had several problem sheets on general relativity, and one of my college tutors is a world expert on a particular part of general relativity, and just being able to discuss the ideas with him was fantastically useful because he understood them on such a deep level that in some way gets imparted to you. Lastly, the tutorials tend to happen either in your academic's office or in a room that they've booked in your college. Now, in the humanities, because there's more scope for choice in the courses, typically you won't have a tutorial with a tutor from your college. Instead, you'll have tutorials with whichever member of the department is a specialist in the field that is covered in that tutorial, regardless of their college affiliation. That means that you will typically have to travel to other colleges to have the tutorials, which is actually a really nice way of seeing the university. Also, instead of handing in a problem sheet, which was set by the lecturers based on the material that you've covered in lectures, typically you'll be handing in an essay which is based on material that you covered in lectures, but is largely informed by reading that you have done and tailored to that essay specifically. Now, obviously this doesn't cover everything, because in some subjects you have to do translations, in other subjects you have to do, well, a variety of things that aren't essays or problem sheets, but this is the general idea of how the system works. I hope that you found this useful and it's cleared up a few misconceptions that you might have had. If there are any questions you do still have, feel free to leave them in the comments section or send me a direct message. And thank you for watching.